Okay, so, and you're Mr. Gant, correct?
Yes.
Okay, good. So Mr. Gant, what are you doing in the hospital?
I'd like to know they put me in here, my kids.
Your kids made you come. Okay, I got it.
Oh, we meet again.
Hi, how are you?
Good, yourself?
Good. Tell me your name.
My name's Jeremy.
Jeremy, I guessed Justin. I'm so terrible with names. Okay. All right. Jeremy. Okay. So this is Mr. Gant, who's telling me his kids made him come. Do you have a set of vitals on him?
The most recent set is 176/63, heart rate of 105. He's 97%. I do have him on 2 liters, respirations of 16.
Yep.
Let me look
Okay, good. And then do you have any allergies and meds and any labs? And then we'll get to the whole story, okay? I just want a little bit of background. Who's that on the phone?
You.
I'm videoing you on the phone. I'm videoing you, videoing us.
Oh my goodness, that's a first. Okay.
Tell your daughter.
Well, she knows I'm the daughter, and the son's here, and my twin sister. So 3 siblings are here.
Tell me their names.
Jane
Yeah.
and Dan.
Hi, Jane. Hold on, let me turn the camera just a little bit, get to meet everybody.
Okay, Dan, peek in there. Woody, get out of the way.
Hi, I'm Dan.
Hi, Dan. Okay, good. All right.
Thanks, Jane.
Wonderful. So the whole family's here. Who does Mr. Gant live with?
He lives alone.
Okay, all right. So up until the time that this happened, he's been okay living alone?
Yes.
Okay. Who does his shopping for him, for example?
I go to Walmart.
Grocery shopping?
Yeah, I go to Walmart and he eats frozen dinners mostly.
Okay, got it. And then, Mr. Gant, are you able to get dressed by yourself, give yourself a bath, things like that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good. And then how are the bills worked out? I mean, is there someone who sort of looks after them being paid, or does he do all that by himself?
He does it by himself, writing checks.
Okay.
We don't pay him.
We don't pay him.
We don't pay him.
He's got a sense of humor.
Okay. He most certainly does. That's wonderful. Okay. So now, Jeremy, do you have any info for me?
I've got a CBC back, completely normal. WBCs are 6.6. H&H is good. Platelets are 249. And then your coags are back. Your PT is 11. INR is 1.01. PTT 25.6.
Okay, and then meds and allergies?
Let's look here. I was told he just had seasonal allergies, but let me look and see what the meds for you.
Okay. No medication allergies?
No, not that I'm seeing.
Not that we know of.
Okay.
And then home meds, we have amitriptyline, 25 milligrams, captopril, 25 milligram tablet. He has phenofibrate, 135 milligram delayed, metformin, 850 milligram, and let's see here, and triazolam, 0.25 milligram tablet.
I'm Dr. Moore.
Hi there.
All of you. Hi.
Hi there.
So the head CT is not showing any acute bleeding or anything alarming, which is good. Sometimes there will be mini strokes or events that do not show anything on the head CT though.
If you'd like to say hello, come on in. That's okay.
Say hi to the doc.
Hello.
Hi, I'm so sorry. I didn't know you were. Oh.
Did you see the camera she was looking for?
I'm sorry. I didn't know you were in the middle of everything. I was just updating them on the CT. Hi.
It's great. It's great.
Okay.
Hi, how are you? Okay, wonderful. It's a good thing, you know, she's videotaping the whole thing.
I know. This is going on Facebook.
Better not, please.
Thank you. I'll let you finish your job. Thank you very
And then I'll
much.
give you a call.
Perfect.
Thanks.
Appreciate it.
All right, good. So just for the video record, usually it's a lot more serious than this.
You guys have a good time here.
All right, so tell me why Mr. Gant is in the hospital right now.
Go ahead, Dan.
He called me today and asked me to come over, and he said he was having trouble working the microwave.
Okay.
Remote control.
The remote on the TV, the computer, which he normally goes on all the time to look at Facebook. He has a lot of friends. He hasn't been on Facebook in 4 days, which is very abnormal. He says he can get one of his frozen meals in the microwave and turn it on, but he doesn't know what to do after that.
Okay.
That kind of stuff he's having trouble with.
Okay.
Facebook is kind of like his. He's a minister, retired, and he has a following where he will type up things, and so him not being on Facebook for 4 days is very
abnormal.
Oh, it is. Yeah.
When is the last time that any of you physically saw him?
I saw him about a week and a half ago. I took him out to dinner, and he was he was his normal self, but doesn't seem to be. In the last 2 days, he hasn't seemed to be his normal self.
Oh, and Ann, tell him about. He called me on the 16th, thinking it was the 23rd, and was asking when I was going to pick him up on Christmas Eve. So, on the 16th, he had lost a week.
Got it. Okay. All right. So prior to these days, you've never noticed him having any trouble with confusion, memory problems, difficulty figuring stuff out? Never?
No. He hasn't been walking real well, but I was thinking that could be due to malnutrition. He's just not eating well. You know, he'll do frozen dinners. He'll do, a bowl of cereal in the morning and maybe a sandwich.
Has he lost weight?
Really?
I don't think so. He doesn't look any thinner.
Okay, all right. And so Dan, you saw him 10 days ago. Has any other family member seen him since?
No.
I haven't. No, I know on the 4th we went to the Messiah together, and he did pretty well on that day.
Yeah.
There's a lot of walking.
So Dan, when you went over to the house, did the house look okay, or did it look like it was in disarray?
No more than normal. They look fine.
Okay, good. And your dad was fully dressed?
Yes.
Okay, and he looked like he clean. He was clean.
He shaved himself.
Showered and everything else is shaved. Okay.
Yeah, and we went out to dinner.
Okay, wonderful. And then, so you took him out to dinner tonight?
No, that day.
So I'm talking about today when you went over to the house.
No, he's unshaven and he was in like pajamas. And just seemed out of it.
Okay.
He was having trouble formulating his words and his thoughts.
Okay.
He's very articulate usually when he speaks.
Got it. Okay. All right. So now I'm going to talk to him.
Okay.
And he hasn't been ill recently as far as you know?
No.
Okay. Okay. So, Mr. Gant, can you tell me your name?
Bob.
Okay, and can you tell me the names of those people who are in the room with you?
Yes, I can.
No, it's not me. Don't worry. We just met.
Not the nurse. We know the nurse, but how about the rest of the people in the room? And who are they?
Woody, Ben, and Jane.
Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. So he's gotten them all right.
Right.
Okay. And tell me where you are, sir.
I'm in the hospital.
And tell me what the month is and the year.
September. No, it's not September. The month is. You think I've proved yet? No, it's December 20th.
And what's the year?
1970. 1990.
Okay. Who's our president?
Oh, Barack Obama.
And who was the president before him? That was painful for you to say. I see that. And who was the president before Obama?
Bush.
And do you happen to know who was the president before Bush?
Before Bush?
Yeah. Oh, that one's even more painful to say. I can see that.
I knew to you ask me. It was
Okay, no problem. Have you ever heard the saying, people in glass houses shouldn't throw stones?
Oh, yes.
What does that mean?
They should throw stones.
Does it have another meaning?
It means if you have problems, you shouldn't be throwing stones at the other person.
Okay, I got it. So normally he's a lot more articulate than
Right,
this.
right. He'd be really quick on the draw.
Yep, okay. Can we sit him up a little bit, please? Thank you.
Okay, I'm gonna go just a little bit. Is that enough, Doctor? Is that okay, or you want more?
Yeah, no, that's perfect. Hi,
Fine.
You can lay back down.
Mr. Gant, my name is Dr. Horvath. I'm a neurologist. I deal with diseases of the brain. And so your family found you and you were a little confused, and so we're trying to figure out what happened to you. Okay. Can you just with your eyes look up at the ceiling? Keep your head straight. Look up at the ceiling with your eyes. Can you do that? Good. Look all the way over to the right. Look over to the left. Look way down. Can you smile for me, please? Good. Stick your tongue out. Wonderful. Shrug your shoulders for me. Okay. Can you hold your hand straight out in front of you like you're holding a box of pizza, like this? And your other hand, too. Hold your other hand out. Good. Can you touch your nose with your index finger on either side?
Like that.
Okay, yeah, and do it on the other side as well. Good. Can you tap your fingers together? Good job. Okay, all right. Can you raise your right leg?
My right leg.
Yeah. Wonderful. And raise your left leg. Okay, good. Jeremy, can I ask you to do light touch on him? Sensory exam, compare one side to the other.
On this side, can you feel that?
Yes.
Does that feel the same as it does over here when I touch?
Not so.
Does it feel the same or different?
No, it's about the same.
About the same? How about on this side?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And when I touch on this side?
Yeah.
The same? And how about when I touch this cheek? And when I touch that cheek?
The same.
The same? Okay.
Okay, excellent, good. Okay, so here's what I can tell you. So we're still waiting for some labs to come back.
see if
Your
they've come
metabolic
up.
panel isn't back yet. Let's see.
No, just the CVC and the coags. Nothing back.
Okay. Okay, all right. So we don't have back all his labs. So that's where I would start and look at things like, is he dehydrated? Does he have a urinary tract infection? Things like that. Because sometimes that can push you over the edge
Right.
where you're just not, right? So that's
Right.
number one that I would think about. Usually with a dementia kind of picture, it's a lot more gradual. It's not, one day to the next.
Right.
Sometimes you can get strokes that can do this if the strokes are in a strategic spot. He's had a couple of tiny little strokes on his brain that I can see, and I can see that he's probably had high blood pressure for a long time, so parts of his brain look a little bit smaller, and they look like they have little injuries, okay?
Right.
And sometimes with these tiny little strokes, it's very hard to tell what's old and what's new.
Right.
So I think that the next thing that we're going to do is an MRI. And when I compare an MRI to a CAT scan is sort of a quick and dirty test. It's kind of like a cartoon compared to a photograph when you look at an MRI.
Right.
So it gives you a lot more detail, a lot more resolution. It can sort of help us figure out what's going on.
Okay.
Finally, the other thing I think about in someone like your dad is if your thyroid function is off and your thyroid gland is not working up to speed, if you have certain vitamin deficiencies, particularly D or B12, you can look like this. So you're gonna come into the hospital for a few days, Mr. Gant, and we're gonna do a few tests to try to figure out why this happened to you, okay? But when you're 81, it doesn't take a lot to sort of push you over the edge. And so people are very frail at that age. And so sometimes these are correctable things, okay? And I'm hoping that we'll get you better so you can get back on Facebook and minister, okay?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is anything hurting you?
No, this
Okay.
this stuff that's got me on this.
The oxygen is hurting his nose.
Oh, it's hurting his nose. Maybe we could loosen that up a little bit. You know, but that's, yeah.
No,
All right. Okay.
I'm fine.
Well, considering that they poked and prodded you already, I see all these needles in you and stuff. I mean, you're not a complainer at all. So, all right, let's try to get you better for your family and everyone, okay?
Okay, bye-bye.
Thank you so
I'm going
much.
to go ahead and talk to the nurse, okay? Do you guys have any questions for me? Anybody?
No, thanks. Thanks so
Thank you.
much. It's been a pleasure.
Okay. All the best.
All right.
Bye-bye.